Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the group exhibit here, Hydrogen and Fuel Cells, here at Hannovermesse 2022. I am honored to have you here back after a short break of only 2 years, so that's really nice to see familiar faces. I want to share with you something. I don't want to talk about the times we have not been here. I do want to talk about the times we have been here. Can you imagine since when we can date back our first time we've been here at the fair? That was in 1995. 1995 here at Hannovermesse, 7 or 8 exhibitors here. At that time, hydrogen fuel cells. That was something exotic, something very nerdy, something where many people did not believe in. And now we're here with more than 200 exhibitors from more than 20 countries on 10,000 square meters. This is where we are here. So this year is very important for many of these exhibitors here, for many of you sitting here in the audience. In this public forum, we will be having talks, discussions, breaking news on hydrogen and fuel cells, on the green future. Every 20 minutes we have a different talk. And I'm thrilled to announce to you the first talk of the day. We will be discussing green hydrogen in developing countries, building future markets. And for that, please welcome with me on stage Senior Advisor for Business and Economic from the Agentur für Wirtschaft und Entwicklung, Mr. Verick Schick.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much. It is an honor to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
And it is your first time here.
Well, actually, it's not my first time. It's the first time here on stage with you. But I've been here, I think it has been 3 or 4 years ago when the first topic of hydrogen started here in Germany. And I said to myself, I must have a look. And it's just great to be back. I like it. Thank you.
Yes, we are all really happy to be back here. And most of the exhibitors here have an agenda. Many have fuel cells or electrolyzers and are here for the business. You are here representing an institution that is quite different. So could you please give an introduction why exactly you are here and who you are representing?
Yeah, thank you, Mona. Actually, yes, we are here. We are a bit different from the normal exhibitors because we are here from the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. That is the Agentur für Wirtschaft und Entwicklung, or in English you would say Agency for Business and Economic Development. We are here to get in contact with companies that want to engage in developing countries or would like to invest in developing countries. And for that, our ministry has different kind of programs, support programs, promotional programs, financing solutions, where we would like to inform you about, get in contact with you, and be your resonance board when it comes to any kind of project. Thank you. Project development.
So I need a little bit more details,
Yeah.
because I hear something about funding, about finance, something of hydrogen, and then your title says something about developing markets. So maybe let's break this down. The title of the session is Green Hydrogen in Developing Countries, Building Future Markets. But first of all, what is green hydrogen? I thought hydrogen is good anyway, so why green hydrogen?
Well, actually, it's the mandate of our ministry to focus only on green hydrogen. Green hydrogen produced by renewable energies is something that is actively supported by our ministry. And when I say our ministry, I must repeat that the Ministry for Economic Cooperation is focused on developing countries. That is, countries that are on their way to an energy transformation or an energy transition. I mean, we are also here in Germany, but for these countries, it's even more important because they do not have the skill set. A skill set that is already here in Germany, companies that produce electrolyzers, companies that are involved in all kinds of the value chain concerning green hydrogen. And that is why we are looking and here and trying to get in contact with companies that are looking to invest or engage in developing countries and want to build their future markets.
So from what I understand is that, let's imagine I'm interested in the hydrogen future. Why should I come and talk with you? What solution would you provide for me? What assistance exactly can you give?
That's a good question. Thank you, Mona. So if you are in contact with some kind of ministry, you know that there is a plethora, a lot of promotional programs, a lot of financing solutions, and you will have to go through and find each and every program, have a look in there, and that takes a lot of time. That is, I would say, manageable by huge companies, DAX companies, that have the manpower or the woman power, but that is difficult for SMEs, and that is why we have been created exactly to support you and guide you through this, some people say jungle of different programs that are existing. And we, that is our colleagues and I, we have the expertise concerning these programs, and we can at least inform you, advise you, and also make networks and connections to other companies, for example, or other stakeholders already active in developing countries, where you can get more information. So that's actually what we do.
So for some people interested in investing, on supporting any business that has something to do, or any ideas that have something to do with hydrogen and fuel cells, they're already here and thinking the closer the better. And I mean that geographically. So why would someone, if somebody believes that there's a risk investing in an emerging market, some hurdles, also political risks. So what would you say to this person?
Yeah, that is totally understandable. But if you have a look into developing countries, some of them are based in the sun belt, that is in a region where there is a lot of sun, or in the windy region, that is a region where there is a lot of wind. And as you know, green hydrogen, you will need green renewable energy to produce green hydrogen. And that is actually why we are also focusing on these developing countries. First of all, to support them on their energy transition, but also to reduce cost. That is costs when it comes to the production of green hydrogen. Our ministry has its objective to support these countries in opposition of the German economic ministry, which supports, of course, companies here in Germany. But we all need green hydrogen. Hydrogen is essential for decarbonization of industries, of whole different other sectors, like, for example, buildings and so on and so forth. And that's actually where our ministry is putting its focus on. And since you mentioned risks, the Agency for Business and Economic Development consists of two so-called executing agencies of the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation. One is the German International Cooperation for, I would say, the GIZ, which is Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit, providing technical assistance. And the other one is a bank, which is DEG, providing financing solutions. All of these two actors know their local economies and the local countries, because we have either offices or we have projects in these developing countries. So companies that would like to have more information and maybe get in contact with other companies from a local country, they should contact us, and we can provide exactly these connections to either companies or project managers or personal in developing countries.
So from what I hear is that I understand that you do not only have a broad network in developing and emerging markets, but also provide from here assistance on potential investment projects. Do you also provide context to any hydrogen related or any sustainable projects in developing markets?
Well, actually, yes. Our ministry has recently started 3 programs, and another program is in development. One program to support the production of green hydrogen and the whole setup and regulations and so on is, for example, in Brazil. It's called Agentur Brazil. Colleagues there are supporting and advising local ministries of energy and are discussing with them what it needs to, first of all, have a stable investment climate concerning green hydrogen to reduce again risk. How to connect also German companies with a lot of knowledge and know-how with companies in Brazil, for example, and also where to identify sweet spots for projects to see these could be interesting off-takers of green hydrogen in Brazil, for example, so that there is a possibility to produce green hydrogen in Brazil and then also use it locally.
So when has this project started?
The project has started, I think it is now 1 year ago. So results, they are on progress. They are now setting up the project, but if you would need more information, we are here at booth 42, D42/1. Just come by and have a discussion with us.
That sounds very interesting, and and you said that you have more projects going on, not only in the hydrogen business, but also anything that goes into sustainable energy development. So that's kind of interesting. So I wanna get back to who should really get in touch with you, because I believe sometimes people or companies don't know yet that you're an ideal fit. So can you identify what are the basics that someone has to need, or the interest that someone has to have to get in touch with you?
Okay, thank you. So actually, I know that the whole discussion concerning green hydrogen is still early stage. But I believe, and I strongly believe, that the better you know and the more information you get and the greater your network is, the easier it will later be to install and realize a project, or maybe even setting up a production shop locally in one of those countries that I have mentioned, developing countries. What we are looking for are companies that ideally have already some kind of trade affairs with developing countries, or who are looking into that and would like to see what a certain market brings for them and how they can, and that's also the title of our session here, and how they can build their future market, either to produce locally, for example, electrolyzers or whatever you would need in the whole value chain of green hydrogen, or countries or companies that would like even to invest in such projects to produce green hydrogen locally in developing countries.
Yeah, and in our pre-talk you also mentioned that there's a certain social aspect that you're also promoting when working with in emerging markets, right?
Yeah, that's right. For our ministry, the main objective is to have sustainable jobs. And by companies that are setting up shop in one of the developing countries, they also contribute to the gross domestic product by, for example, paying taxes, by, of course, paying salary to their workers, and therefore the whole ecosystem grows. And that is, of course, of a benefit to a local economy and to a local government, which then can use this income again and invest, for example, in other relevant infrastructure projects not only green hydrogen, but maybe also transportation, but also education, for example, really, really relevant in developing countries.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about the educational part?
Yeah. So education, our ministry supports different kind of education, of course, when it comes to basic education, schools, but also when it comes to education for skilled workers. So what we have experienced, and we have a long experience concerning photovoltaic, for example, or wind energy. What people or what companies find or do not find in developing countries are a certain skill set that they will need for their product. Be it a wind turbine or how to do maintenance on a wind turbine, be it a solar park, how to connect correctly PV panels, and of course electrolyzers. And we know that hydrogen can be dangerous, that people and technicians really do know how to handle that equipment. And that is something that's really, really relevant, because once a certain image of a technology is damaged, I would say, it is really difficult to build or to optimize, I would say, or to better this kind of image.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious, I'm not sure how much you want to reveal, but let's say I am a company or a small, medium-sized enterprise, and I think, oh, this is interesting, I have a local electrolyzer production and I want to move this production to a developing country, but I have some hurdles, I don't know what to do. Will I also get any funding, any financial support?
Yeah. Well, actually, that's exactly the best case, I would say, for a company that we are looking into. A company that has a certain business model already in mind, that would like to set up shop somewhere, produce locally, is in dire need of skilled workers, and maybe would like to have some co-financing to set up that shop. So exactly that would be our task. We would then discuss with the company what they are looking into, where they want to build up shop. We have different experts, as I already mentioned, either from GIZ with a lot of experience in developing countries concerning how to work locally, how to produce locally, and how to interact locally. But also we have the whole financial aspect from DEG, of bankers here in Germany that are of course looking into a certain project and would like to see, okay, that would be interesting for us. We would like to support you with a certain loan, with some equity contribution to realize that project.
So this sounds like a one-stop shop solution for me.
Well, actually, we are. Thank you. We are a one-stop shop solution for the Ministry for Economic Cooperation, but we are looking a bit beyond that also, because what we want to see is really projects that are realized in developing countries. That is why we are not only looking into our small portfolio, or big portfolio, but also try to connect a company or a person or somebody who's interested with either the whole ecosystem here in Germany or abroad. I have other colleagues from GIZ that are running different programs. For example, a program called H2Up, where they are scouting for green hydrogen project opportunities in developing countries. That is, they are looking for off-takers of green hydrogen. So that would be, for example, already a reduction of a certain obstacle when it comes to finding interesting project parties.
Yeah, and so I see that you provide everything I need, right? I could also just come with money to your booth and say, let me invest, and then you would do the whole rest for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, not only you, but we also have a good coffee at our place. So just come by, have a chat with us. And we are here all the week.
Yeah.
And so we will be happy to just like have a discussion with you, present what we have, and see and just like interact with you and be your sounding board for that.
Yeah, I'm deeply sorry if there was any question from the audience. I'm a little bit over time, but why don't you have a look at D40 at your booth, where there's apparently very good coffee, and have a more detailed chat. I hope we were able to provide a broad overview, introduction on what you do and why is it important what you do. And I personally think it's great that you're here. You're here at the right fair, but also very forward looking into the future, because in a few years many other countries would be like, why didn't we have this agency providing this assistance? So I think this is a really smart move from the ministry to support or having this idea and pushing this idea with the adequate funding. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Mona. Thanks for being here, and yeah, enjoy the fair.
Thank you.
Thank you.